Phoenix here, and another Moldavite video today. And this one is going to be about what you can expect to happen in your life when you get Moldavite. And the reason I want to do this video is because I'm noticing a big upsurge in people inquiring about Moldavite online, and I'm getting a lot more messages than I have done in the past. And I'm hearing that it's kind of gained some momentum over the last few months online on social media. So it's starting to become a little bit of a trend, I guess. And what I'm seeing is a lot of people who sound like they're looking for Moldavite for the wrong reasons, or because they're expecting something which is totally different to what they're actually going to get. So I'm going to speak about that now and kind of put a few things straight. In case you don't know who I am and you've kind of not seen any of my videos on Moldavite before, my name's Timothy Phoenix, and I've been working with Moldavite since 2018, so 3 years now. And I own a couple of pieces at the minute. I've got 2 of my own personal pieces, and I've had, so this is my current 2. One's this ring, which is just a couple of months. I've had this one, and this one I've had almost a couple of years now. And I've had more pieces than this. I've had, I think, 5 or 6, but I've given away the other ones. But as well as my own personal experiences, I also have, now I haven't counted exact numbers because I really don't know, but I can tell you that since I got into it, I've introduced so many people into it that I now know somewhere between 50 and 100 people who actually have gone out and bought Moldavite, most of them because of what I've said about it. If you add onto that a couple of dozen clients that I've worked with as a coach, and I give all my clients Moldavite, then that's a lot of people basically. And also you can add in all the people who write to me and tell me about their Moldavite experiences through my blog, through this YouTube channel, and on Instagram. Then, when you can come and find me, by the way, timothy.phoenix, then that's a lot of people. So that's more experience certainly about Moldavite than the average person. And also what I'm seeing is I've noticed an upsurge in people who are posting about Moldavite on YouTube. Most of these people, to me, they're just talking about their own personal experience. That's one person's experience, whereas I have tens and, well, must be over 100 people's experiences, definitely over 100 of Moldavite, which I now know of. And there's a common thread that tends to run through. But one thing I would say is everyone's experience is slightly different, and you shouldn't expect yours to be the same as someone else's. With that being said, there is definitely a very common thread which runs through Moldavite experiences. But I want to start by saying that if you're someone who's looking for Moldavite to magically make your life better, which is what I'm seeing, certainly in the comments that I'm reading, that's not going to happen. Or at least it's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. It can actually do that. I mean, Moldavite is a crystal of transformation for sure. Of course, it's not actually a crystal, it's a tektite. There is a difference, which I won't go into here. But one of the explanations I heard, or definitions I heard of Moldavite, is that crystals work more on the inner you, on the inside, and tektites work more on the outside. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that, but what I can tell you is that Moldavite certainly makes things happen in your outer world. It will start to shift things around. But the thing you've got to know about that is, the important thing is, your inner world creates your outer world. It's a reflection. So this is Law of Attraction 101. So whatever is going on deep within you, mostly on a subconscious level, is creating your outer world. So how you feel about yourself is reflected back towards you in everything you're experiencing. So you'll attract the people, situations, and circumstances into your life which are a reflection of how you feel about yourself. primarily, and how you feel about the world. So in that respect, yes, Moldavite as a tektite is working to shift things around in your outer world, but the things in your outer world are a reflection of what's in your inner world. So it's a bit of both. But I get what that person was saying with that as a definition, because there's no doubt that tektite, and certainly Moldavite, is going to make things happen in your life. It's going to start to shift things around. But you've got to understand that although it will do that, what happens afterwards is based on how you respond to that and how you react to that. So what a lot of people are thinking is they're going to get this crystal. We'll just call it a crystal rather than a tektite, because that's just how everyone knows it. You're going to get this crystal and it's going to make everything right in your life, and good things are going to happen. And that is not how it works, because at the end of the day, only you can change your life. Only you can transform yourself. You have to change your inner world and how you feel about yourself and how you think about the world if you want your outer world to shift afterwards. That is how it works. What Moldavite is going to do, it's going to speed up that process, and it's going to draw your attention to the things that need to change in order for you to transform your life and get to that stage where you are creating an incredible life. Because you've basically, you've grown on a spiritual level, you've leveled up, if you like, and that change within you is going to then create even further shifts in your outer world. But what Moldavite does is it's basically saying going to bring up a lot of shit that needs dealing with. And it's going to do that by bringing people, situations, and circumstances into your life, which are going to force you to take a look at them. Now, you could ignore them if you want and just carry on as before, and the same cycles will keep playing over in your life, and you won't really get that transformation. But if you actually face them head on and start to deal with them and make changes to your life and your thought patterns and your habits, that's when things are going to start changing. That's when you'll see some spiritual growth. Ultimately, Moldavite is a crystal of spiritual growth. And what it's doing is, when we talk about spiritual growth, what we actually mean is becoming your authentic self, becoming the real you, the soul, not the ego. Most people are living from ego. They're living from their monkey mind, basically. And they are, they're not living the kind of life that they really want to, which is from their heart. What Moldavite does is, it basically says, right, here's all the stuff that you're suppressing and not dealing with. Deal with it. That's basically what it's saying. And so stuff's going to start to happen, and you're probably not going to like it at first. You're almost certainly not going to like it, because it's forcing you to look at things that you are suppressing and are pushing away because they're too painful to deal with, or you're fearful of actually going there and doing the things you need to do to sort out those issues in your life. And this is why people get so scared and kind of start fear-mongering about Moldavite, because all this shit is happening in their life. But actually, that's what needs to happen in order for you to deal with things that need to be dealt with, so that you can move on to, you can grow spiritually and move into that authentic version of you, so that you're actually living life from your heart and doing what you really want to do. You know, a good example would be if you're in a career that you absolutely hate, and it's bringing you down, it's bringing your vibration down, and as a consequence, that's causing the law of attraction to bring you more shit into your life. What Moldavite is going to do is it's going to force you to look more closely at that. So it's going to make things happen with your career that's going to seem negative. So that could be anything, like you could end up getting the sack, for example, or made redundant, or which obviously then leaves you now a pathway to move into something which is going to be something you actually want to do, you know, something, and that's your spiritual growth. That's you becoming more authentic. Of course, you still have to make that decision though. You can get the sack and go and get another job which you absolutely hate as well, right? you can get the sack and you can end up really depressed about it because you've not got a job anymore, and then get depressed and start wallowing in that, and then your life's just going to get even worse. So Moldavite, yeah, it can make your life worse, but it's not the Moldavite making life worse. It's you and your reaction to what's happening. You've always got a choice. The other choice, of course, is to move towards something that you actually really want to do. So that's an example of what can happen. Also, it could be that you're at work and the Moldavite brings you someone into that work environment who you just cannot stand. And now you've got to spend your whole day around someone who irritates the fuck out of you. Okay? Now, again, what are you going to do? You're going to put up with that? You're going to put up with being treated badly or whatever it may be? Or are you going to see this as the catalyst to get you out of there? Because what most people do is they think, oh, more shit coming, or oh, the Moldavite's making things worse. It's terrible. It's dangerous. No, it's not. It's only working for your highest good. But on the spiritual journey, your highest good can't be reached until you let go of a few things in your life. And if you hate your career, that's one of the things that needs to be let go of. Same as if you were with a partner. You might have a partner, you don't really want to be with them, you don't love them, or it's just not working out anymore, or you're being treated badly, but you're not leaving them. You're staying in the situation because you're fearful of confrontation, or you're fearful of being alone, or whatever it may be. Or you don't feel you can get any better. There's many reasons that you have to look into yourself. But all Moldavite is doing is saying, look, you're not dealing with this, so now the situation is going to get worse temporarily, and it will continue to get worse until you actually do something about it. And whatever that may be, maybe you'll get treated even worse by your partner. Maybe you find that your partner's cheated on you, or I don't know what. But some stuff is going to come up to the surface, and now you have the choice. You have free will. What do you do now? Do you continue to let things go the way they've been going? In which case, yes, your life's going to get worse. But you've got an opportunity to break it off now and go it out alone and start looking after number one for a change, or whatever it is you need to do, and start this. It's all about spiritual growth. It's all about getting on the spiritual pathway. And the spiritual pathway, it's not about crystals. It's not about wearing white linen and sandals and going to Bali. It's the spiritual journey. The true spiritual journey is about finding your authentic self. And that just means living from your heart and doing what you really want to do, and being true to yourself at all times, and not allowing people to treat you like shit, and people pleasing all the time, and not putting yourself first. These are the kind of things that you have to do if you want the kind of life where you're really living it from the heart expansively. So that's what Moldavite is here to do. That's Moldavite's job, if you like. That's what it's trying to do. So, they say it's a crystal or tektite of the heart. And that's why they say that. Because it is trying to get you to live more from your heart. And it will do that. But for most people, what that means is you're going to have to deal with all the shit that you're suppressing, that you've been pushing away, all the pain that you don't want to deal with. And you're going to have to deal with it. Once you have dealt with it, though, that's when things are really going to start to manifest into your life, which are incredible. That's when you're going to see amazing synchronicities, and things will start to go your way. So I always say that Moldavite is turbocharging the law of attraction, and it is. But you've got to understand the law of attraction works not magically, that stuff gets sent to you and everything's you just sit on your couch and do nothing. It works because it works on your vibration. And if your vibration's low, then you're only getting more things which reinforce that feeling, that low vibration. When you start to make those shifts in your patterns of behavior and your actions and your thoughts, and emotions that you're feeling, that's when you'll see better things start to come into your life. As I say, I've worked with many people, and I can tell you, I have never spoken to a single person who says that they got Moldavite and nothing happened. So you see that quite a lot online. Oh, I got Moldavite, nothing's happening. Either they're not giving it long enough, and I can tell you that generally Moldavite takes a few weeks before you really start to see things actually happen in your life, like tangible things. But just because you can't feel it doesn't mean it's not working. And, I've had Moldavites where I've not really felt much from them. I've had others which have been maybe feel ill. I've had others which have been maybe feel really, really great and not ill at all. But normally the illness, that feeling, that Moldavite flush kind of subsides after a couple of weeks, I find. And then what it's doing is it gets attuned to your energy. So after that, you'll feel good, you'll feel okay. But as I say, it's different for every single person. So you can't ever go by what someone else is saying. I know people who have had it, and generally it tends to be people who are particularly sensitive to energies in general. They will feel Moldavite much more strongly than someone who doesn't, for example. But that's not always the case, I know a client of mine who's one of the most sensitive people I've ever met. She's sensitive to everything, right? But she actually sells Moldavite, makes Moldavite jewelry, and she says she can't feel Moldavite. So, I do believe she's a bit of an anomaly, because almost every sensitive person I've met can really feel Moldavite. But it just goes to show it's different for every single person. I know people who say they just can't feel Moldavite at all, and loads has happened in their life. So it's different for everyone. And again, some of these people who are making these kind of comments, oh, it's not working, it's not doing anything, they could have a fake, for example. It also could be, they're just particularly blocked off because they've got a lot of energetic blocks within their body and they just can't feel anything. And that's the same for most people who are not on a spiritual pathway and haven't done any kind of shadow work or to work on those chakras and work on clearing up those blocks. If you've got all those blocks, then you're not going to be very sensitive to anything. And I can tell you, as someone who's been on this kind of spiritual pathway for 5 years now, the more you kind of work on yourself and do the inner work, the more sensitive you become to everything. All your senses become heightened, and you start to taste things more, hear things more, feel things more. And so things like crystals will become more sensitive to you, you will start to feel them. But if you, at the start of that journey, you've not done any of that work, you're probably not going to feel anything from any crystals. But that doesn't mean it's not doing anything in your life, because trust me, it still will do. No matter what kind of stage you are at in this, on your journey through life, your spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, you can get the benefits of Moldavite. But I can tell you that those people who haven't done kind of a lot of work on themselves, they're going to be the ones who generally have more shit come up, because they've got obviously more to deal with. So it's different for everybody, but the general, as I said, I've never had a single person come to me and say, Moldavite, I got Moldavite and nothing happened. You've got to be getting Moldavite for the right reasons. You have to be ready for transformation. You have to be ready to change your life. And a lot of people say they're ready and they say, oh, I'm going through all this shit, I'm going to buy this crystal to change things. But that's not what I mean. That's not what is meant by ready for transformation. You've got to be ready to put in the work to transform. You've got to be ready to make changes within you to change your life. You can be ready for change, of course. If things are going badly in your life, then yeah, of course you're ready for change. Of course you are. But real change and true spiritual growth doesn't come from people just sitting there and doing nothing. They have to start changing the way they think and then changing their actions and behaviors and responses to what's going on in their life. That's how you transform, that's how you change. A crystal doesn't do that for you. A tektite doesn't do that for you. What it will do is it's going to help to speed up the process and move things along. And it's going to just give you a little nudge. Well, more than a little nudge, by the way. You know, you're going to get quite a big nudge coming your way. Trust me on that. But when it happens, you still then have to decide, okay, how do I react to this? And that's going to decide whether your life truly changes or not. Okay. And also, you know, I'm also seeing some comments of people saying, oh, look, it's a crystal, it's not going to do anything, blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about? You shouldn't be expecting that. Well, they're also kind of wrong as well. They're kind of right, but they're kind of wrong in that it's real, it's doing stuff for sure, but true transformation can only come from you, okay, as an individual. If you're not ready to put in some of that work that's required, then forget about it. Your life isn't going to change, and then you'll be one of those people going on YouTube and saying, "Oh, don't go near Moldavite, it's dangerous," because that's what those people are. They're the ones who basically haven't responded to what's happening and haven't been ready for true transformation and haven't been ready to become their true, authentic self. So I'm going to leave it at that. Don't forget to subscribe and come over to see my Instagram, timothy.phoenix. And yeah, good luck on your Moldavite journey. Oh, by the way, I've done about 30 to 40 Moldavite videos now, so go and check some of them out. I've been vlogging for a couple of years now. So there's loads of information. I've talked about all this kind of stuff before, by the way, but because there's a lot of new people around who are getting interested and curious about it, I thought I'd put out this video to just, yeah, put a few things straight, basically. So that's all for now. Hasta luego.